Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Liluy nishmas Mordechai. Welcome, welcome. Everybody have a seat. Gewaldig. Shalom Aleichem. Duvi Rubenfeld. Thank you for the wonderful shiur. I find them very engaging and entertaining. The visuals are phenomenal. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Today we have gewaldige pictures of the Aron and the Luchas. I want to know if it's possible to post the Motzei Shabbos shir right away on Torah anytime. I'm a citizen of the US and would like to see the recording of Motzei Shabbos. Thank you. So, I'm not pushing this, but if you're part of YouTube, so the shiurim, you can find the shiurim there right after shir. It stays on until they flip it to the edited version. This month, even less than a month, we had the largest jump, I think, in YouTube. We had over 1,000 new subscribers. You have to be subscribed to get that. That feature that you can watch it as it's uploading, as they're doing, that's for subscribed people. Jack Stepner. There's too much to say thank you for. This message is for all the Herzliya guys who joined the Daf. 30 plus Yidden joining from Masechtas Bava Basra. Whether it's working people, army, school, volunteering, Rebbeim of the community, we got 30 plus people to join. Our team is Bezos Hashem going to be at Papagayo in Herzliya. We'd love it if you can come join us. Maybe do a share there. We'll most definitely pay for your all-you-can-eat Belina there. Papagayo all-you-can-eat in Herzliya. P.S. attaches our MDY Daf group chat. All the best, Herzliya Chevra. So they're doing, if you notice, they're doing this, how do you say seker? A poll to see who finished the Daf. That's what it looks like. 5 people did, 5 people part of it. Very cool. That's how you keep people engaged in a group. Boys, mazel tov to my dear brother Shulam for being Messiah Mesechtes Bava Metzia with MDY. Godel Hamasa Yosef and Oisa. So I don't know if he got him to do it, but he himself didn't do it. What Hasidus is that guy all the way on the right? That's what I want to know. Who wears that kind of hat?
Your comment on the water symbol. Give it away.
He's talking about me? See, I don't know. I'm not understanding it. There's a lot of busser over there. It's gewaltige stuff. A kosher phone. He's holding the wine in his hand. It's a very good picture. Since I've met you at an Army base Siyum, I got really connected to the MDY idea. This is funny because this Army base Siyum, and look who's writing the email. Chasidish Yid. I got really connected to the MDY idea, and I've been thinking of opening an MDY Yiddish shir for Yiddish speakers. But someone told me lately you are thinking about it. So I'm on a hold. Maybe I can do it in Russian. I have a yeshiva for Russian speakers. Chazak Mimatz. Frank Binnick, Ram Yeshiva's Per Yisrael Givat Zev. Baruch, how you doing? You're also a Ram in that yeshiva? I have to brush up my Yiddish. I can't say shir in Yiddish, and it'll take probably a good year or two to brush it up. No. There's only one MDY. I know. No, I chap the shita. I heard the other thing you said a few days ago. Huh?
I'll help you brush up.
Trying to find other Magid for the minute. Who's going to help me brush up? I have the bells. I spoke to the bells for real. We're going to learn Chavrusa maybe.
We just have AI switching from English to... Yeah.
Oh. That I'm asking. It's better than something else. Says the...
You manage in Polish English.
Huh?
You manage in Polish English. I'm sure you can manage English.
No. My Yiddish is... I'm ours in 3 languages. Yiddish, Hebrew, and English. But Yiddish is like the worst. The Masechta is sponsored for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Paras HaChodesh, nishmas Zechariah ben Moshe, nishmas Yosef, Paras HaChodesh, Refuat, hanefesh, and go for Breina, Bina, bat Miriam, Baila, Netanel, Kalev, ben Bracha, bat Breina's Bina. Paras HaChodesh, Moe Landy. Oh, I know, I didn't put it in. I'll have to go in tomorrow. There was a beautiful siyum in Lakewood. Over 50 people were there. They have a picture of 50 people. I don't know how many people were there, probably more. Moe Landy, Liluy nishmas from Moe and Shmuel Yehuda, the Mashgiach of torah vodaas. Shmuel Aleichem. Wie heißt die? Shmuel?
Grat.
Grat. Von wann? No way. Because yesterday also we had someone from Stanford Hill. We had Lubelsky. He was 2 days in a row, Stanford Hill. Gewaldig. All right. Huh? I don't know. No shaykhs. What you do? You do the shir, Taka? I regret. You do the shir? Every day. Gewaldig. Parnas HaChodesh. Ahron Fraiman l'schus the rebellion for Kedin siyadta dishmaya teaching torah to Klal Yisroel. Parnas HaChodesh Refuat Shleima Naftali Herz Ben Henya Leah a hidden tzaddik in our generation. Parnas HaYoim for Bat Yomi Bas Miriam for an easy labor and delivery. I forgot the name, but we have to say Refuat and L'chizuk. Our very dear friend Rabbi Ari Chekinow, whose grandson is in terrible condition. We have to daven. Kid fell on his head and.
Yosef from Stanford.
Yosef from Stanford Hill. The top of the top come from Stanford Hill. Unbelievable. Gewaltige Sachen. Parnas Hayoim, Moses Zak, Liluy nishmas Moshe ben Elio Zak. Moshe Zak u'mishpachtoi. Parnas Hayoim. Huh? Elimelech? So that's it. I think next time we go, we have to make an official Stanford Hill shir. That's what we got to do, huh? Yeah, the Rosh Koil is also. Oy vavoy. There's no one left there, you said. By MDY Chabad, in honor of the 30th yahrzeit of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, who personified Ahavas Yisroel and single-handedly changed the world for the better. Nishmas, Admor, Rav Menachem Mendel ben Levi Yitzchok Zeiche Tzadik v'Kodesh Levrocha. We could learn. We should learn. One person had an idea to change the way the world works, and the Bet Chabad's all over the world. Tefillin, all these things that a single person came up with an idea and really changed things. I think anybody could do it. Anybody could change if they want. They know how. The boys say yesterday we learned a Yisod in Shas, good, oy, good, not to be forgotten, buy or sell. In Hebrew, it's Bambi, something like that. Bambi. It might be.
They don't say Bambi.
They don't say Bambi. All right, we are holding Daf Yudal Amud Aleph. You can just go back a couple lines to understand what's flying here. Very, very simple stuff. Torah Rabbanim. Haroitz Ladavik, 2 lines from the bottom of Yud Gimel Amud Beis. We'll do it quickly because we already learned it yesterday. Haroitz Ladavik Torah Nevim Uksuvim Ke'echad Medabek. If you want to put Tanakh together, Torah and Nevim Uksuvim, you could do it in one Sefer Torah sort of. Let's pull this out for a second. So this is important for today's sugya. I mean, not the whole sugya, a very short one. How much klaf do you need left over? Here's a long piece, and here's a very short piece. So first it says, Amud. Amud is the pole. So you need a little bit of klaf to go around the pole nicely. We actually got from Beis Tefillah, so I'm very appreciative that they lent this to us just for today. This is how all their Nevi'im look, one pole. Now if you look over here, the beginning is blank. Why? Let's do more. So that you could go all the way around with the klaf. That's what it just says here. It comes all the way around. The beginning, the pole in the beginning has very little to go around the pole. But afterwards you need a large amount, especially if it's a longer navi, to go all the way around the navi. Leave this here for a sec.
I think my Megillah has that also, the longer in the front.
Yeah. But this happens to be a Megillah. This is, but all their Nevi'im are this, based on the Gemara. It's hard to understand why we do 2 poles today on Nevi'im. Where did that minute come from? We don't see it here in the sugya at all. So here's that picture. If the Sefer, the Navi, finishes all the way on the bottom of the Amud, so we could start all the way on the top from the first word. We don't have to leave a 4-row blank or 3-row blank, depending if it's Shnei Mos or not. Here's a question, boys. I have a question before we even start. I forgot to ask the Shiloh, but nobody answered. Just show me, raise your hand if you think you know the answer. Okay? It's a multiple choice. This is an American kind of question. Who wrote Shir HaShirim? I'm going to give you 4 options. Shlomo HaMelech. Raise your hand if Shlomo HaMelech. So you're guessing now?
You gotta give all the options before you ask.
David HaMelech, Yirmiyahu, or Chizkiah. Only 2 people Chizkiah, 3 people. You say Chizkiah. So the rest of you don't know, or none of the above, because Nachamal, Shlomo, David, Yirmiyahu, Chizkiah. Okay. Baruch Hashem, you all came to the shir today so we can learn. 3 out of, I don't know how many, there's almost no seats available today. It's Chizkiah. Teleploim. Shir Shirim, Mashel Shloima. Chizkiah wrote it. How many of Korach's sons completely survived? 1, 2, 3, or 50? He says 3. How do you know 3? You were in the shir last night? Learned in school. We all learned it in school. So how come you're the only one that remembers? Because he's still in school. He's the only one that listens in school. If he wants to cut the Navi right there, down the line, right over here, in the middle, it works. My Kamar. What's Pshat? Everybody agrees, says Rashi, that you could make a Navi, each Navi individually is actually probably better. So what do you mean in balachtoich lachtoich? Hachi kamar shim balachtoich choitech, that the reason we could cut it is because you finished on the bottom. But let's say you did something like this. Let's say you would have a 3-line gap on the top. You wouldn't be able to cut it. It'll look funny. You don't want to start your Navi 3 lines down. So it goes together. The fact that we're finishing on the bottom and starting on the top, then you do a nice cut. Talking about cuttings, I have to say this. Once a year we do this. There was 2 mishpachas that sent a messenger to find a chassan for the daughter. And the guy came back and only had one chassan. So they went to the Rav. And the Rav said, not a problem. What you do is you cut the guy in half. So one of the mother of the Kalev started screaming, absolutely not, you can't cut a guy in half. And the other one says, yeah, cut him in half. So the Rav said, oh, that's the right trigger. Don't worry, the oilam on the screens, they're laughing. Says the Gemara. It was so bad that even Ashi didn't laugh. That was nerve-wracking. So it says the beginning of the Sefer Torah has to have enough klaf, enough parchment to go around. It doesn't say to go around what? To go around the pole or to go around the whole Sefer Torah. We just learned that you need a little bit to go around. You need a little bit to go around the pole. A lot of bit to go around the whole Sefer Torah. So if you're telling me that the beginning of the Sefer Torah and the end both need one shear, and what's the shear? A little bit to go around the pole. We learned that you need more than that. The end is to go around the whole thing. The beginning is to go around the pole. So we have a little bit of a problem. And if it in fact means to go around the whole Sefer Torah, then we said before, you only need in the beginning to go around the pole. Kashya Amud. Yeah? Kidei Logol doesn't mean either, it means either or. It's talking about the beginning, it's talking about the end. The beginning of the Sefer Torah, you need very little parchment just to go around the Amud. And the end, you need a lot to go around the whole Sefer Torah. That's why it doesn't even say what it is. Kidei Logol, to go around. Each part of the Sefer Torah is a different shear. Rav Ashi Omar Ki Tanya Hi b'Sefer Torah. A Sefer Torah has 2 of these poles, 2 amudim. And therefore, it's actually referring to Kidei Logol, the hekef. You need to be able to go around the entire thing, in the beginning and in the end, because it has 2 amudim. What if you're in V'zayis HaBracha? You have to go all the way around this way. If you're in Bereishis, you have to go around that way. So the front and the back. Over there, It's the other one is only talking about Nevi'im. Nevi'im has one pole, so you need the beginning to go around the Amud and the end to go around the whole thing. Huh?
Why at the end do the whole thing? Why at the end do the whole thing?
Why do you have to go around?
Yeah, you never leave at the end.
We don't know that. We don't know that. Here, let's go. Kidisanya. Here, this next line. Kol hasvarim niglalim mitchilasin l'soifan. So Rashi's goyers l'soifan. That when you're at the end, you need to go all the way around. Others, and on the side it says litchilasan. You have to go around that way. So I don't know exactly which way we go around. And a Sefer Torah, you put it in the middle. Interesting. Seems like every Shabbos they would like go to the middle, half, or maybe it just means the way it is. Amud Aleph. And a Sefer Torah has two amudim. We're talking about glilas. I just want to say real quickly, halacha l'maisas. I think most of us know these halachas, but we'll just do chazara. The person who gets glila, he gets more schar than all the people that get aliyas, especially if you're doing Hagba glila Svardi style. The person who gets glila and Hagba should walk the Sefer Torah all the way back to the Aron Kodesh. And finally, the person who does glila should make sure not to touch the actual klaf, because we once learned in Gemara, I don't know if it's halacha l'maisa though, we once learned in Gemara that if you touch the klaf, you lose all your schar. So that's why people use the talis and etc. Okay. They would make double amudim, two amudim. So we're going to learn a halacha here, very interesting halacha, and this is going to bring us to a question that's going to take us just down to the bottom of the Amud with the very light style Gemaras. So far, Bava Basra has been a breeze. Very, very simple, very, okay. I think it has a little bit of a reputation. Bava Basra, Cheska. So far, so good. So it goes like this. Let's say this is a Sefer Torah. This is the height of the Sefer Torah. So the circumference of the Sefer Torah should be the height of the Sefer Torah. That's what it says here. I don't know. Let's say, I didn't try this out. This is 17. So you would have to go, it should be, in order for the Sefer Torah to look nice, it would have to be this skinny. That's Beseder. I got it. Oh, or how? This one is better. Hold this over here. 50 centimeters. So you take 50. Here, you hold it up like this, please. Like that. I'm just going to do, this is halachically incorrect, what we got here. It should be this wide. This is the circumference for something this tall. Now, but this is a Kalev and Veil. A Sefer Torah should be 6 tfachim. This is about 6 tfachim. That's it. So you take this. The whole Sefer Torah is this. Okay. You have the idea. The circumference, the entire coming around, should be the entire height. It should be 1. Now, how do you figure that out? It's almost Ruach HaKodesh. It's almost impossible to figure out because it takes a year to write, and you don't know how much it's going to take. You don't know how thick the klaf is. So listen what the Gemara says here. And this is the halacha of Zakeli Van Veyu. Hisna lefanav b'mitzvahs, make a beautiful mitzvah. It shall look proportionate. And the Gemara understands that to be proportionate, and the Gemara sticks with this. The height and the width have to be the same. Width meaning the whole circumference. Shas Rebbe Shir Sefer Torah Kama Omerlen B'Gvil Shisha. We have a little Gvil here somewhere. Here's Gvil. I don't think you're going to be able to see it on, but it's a very, very thick. It's a very thick klaf. It's basically the entire thickness of the hide. You take the whole hide and you make a. That's how they used to write. So it's a very thick. If you notice, with technology, I guess we're able to make very light Sefer Torah. But even if you take a Sefer Torah from before the war, from 70 years ago, you have to be the strongest guy in Shul to do Hagba. 20 years ago was also heavy, not as heavy. And today it's mamish, you could have really light Sefer Torah. They make it thinner and thinner. They use what?
Cow fetus.
Oh, you're saying that they use the cloth from the fetus, and we're going to see it here in a second. Here, Omar Lehem Bigvil Shisha says Rebbe that it should be 6 tvachim. The circumference should also be 6 tvachim. This is 6 tvachim right over here. So 6 tvachim, like that. That's a nice size Sefer Torah. This should be the circumference. You take this and you go around, boom, like that. Says the Gemara, Biklaf Bikama. That's Gvil. What about the thinner klaf, which is the outside layer of the hide? Any day, he says, I don't know. Ravuna Kosav, Shivin Sifri Doiraisa. Ravuna wrote 70 Sifri Torah in his lifetime. And he only got lucky, so to speak. Elo Chad, he only was able to do something like that the height and the circumference were the same, 1 out of 70. Bar Yaakov, because of Chadam Ashchei the Iglei, he used the hide of a calf. You're saying it's even more than that today. They go all the way to the fetus. Visramile, and he was able to do it on try number 1. Says the Gemara, they couldn't believe it. Like, how do you do something like that? And they gave him the ayin hara, so to speak. V'noch nafshin, he was nifter. There are those I saw that want to say that he was supposed to be nifter anyway, that they didn't mean it. The some service says no. They felt he deserved it because he was using shemais, and the only way to be so lucky in the first try is to do something that's inappropriate, like using Shem Hashem or whatever. Rebbe Ami wrote 400 Sifri Torah. Now, I don't know, but many times in Shas, 400 is a little bit of a guzma. So even here the Gemara says that we don't believe the story. Maybe he wrote 1 pasuk. So look at Taisus. Taisus says, "Dilma Torah tziva of Omer Rebbe Natam doisi pasuk kari Torah." If you want 1 pasuk in the entire Torah, and this is called Torah, it's that pasuk. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. Kedamir per gimel the Katan eidel daber avim melamdi Torah. As soon as a kid knows how to speak, you should teach him Torah. What do you teach him? My Torah tziva lanu Moshe. So this is very important. Also, Rabbi Lubelsky, who made I went to his Achnas Sefer Torah or the Ksiva Sefer Torah, so I should have told him then. I didn't know this. The most important part of a Torah to write, you as the balabas, the person writing the Torah, remember this. When you guys are going to bring Sefer Torahs, you should write Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe. That's what it says here in the Gemara. Perhaps he did write 400 Sefer Torah. How? By writing the pasuk Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe. That is considered as if you wrote the Sefer Torah. But halachically speaking, it's very kedai for the owner to write Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe instead of writing the last word, letting Yisroel, whatever. Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe. Some Sefer once saw a Sefer Torah that was perfect. The end was perfect. She's like, I'm not used to this. Every time I see the end of the Torah, it's like a little bit. You could see shaky hands, people. So he said, no. The balabas was very mad. He wanted only the Sefer to write. He wanted a perfect Sefer Torah. He says, but we have a minhag that Klal Yisrael goes and writes the end. I'm not using the Sefer Torah. They broke the minhag. I'm not. You're right, it's nicer, but that's not the minhag. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Nachman? Klim. From? Givaldik. Shalom Aleichem. You're sitting next to the most famous Menachem, the Shir, Valkari himself. Zog the Gemara. Not the Rabbiane Arba Mil Karmi. Rabbiane planted 400 vineyards in Eretz Yisrael, Yishuv Haaretz, kind of the mitzvah, but 400. Look, I see the Lubavitcher Rebbe was all the way back then also. Maybe the story is not so true. So yeah, you have to be choishish. Maybe it's a shtickle guzma. Maybe it's like this, the famous Shtayim Keneged Shtayim. Maybe he planted 5. This is in Mishnayos, you always see the Shtayim Keneged Shtayim V'achas Yitzis Zonov. Shtayim Keneged Shtayim. So that could maybe happen, that he planted 400 times 5. Okay, but to say 400 real vineyards, how could a person do that in his lifetime? Rabbi Yisai, we're going to a very, very long question. In fact, the question only happens on Daf Yomi Amud Beis. We're going into like a Nagata over here to explain to us how the Aron worked. Basically, we're asking a question. Let me just tell you the question about Peh. We said that the Sefer Torah, its height should be the same size as the circumference. You see from the Aron that if the Sefer Torah, if that's true, that the height of the Sefer Torah in the Aron was 6 tfachim, so that means the circumference had to be 2 tfachim. And 2 tfachim wouldn't fit into the Aron. That's the Gemara's kasha. The diameter, when the circumference is 6, if the height is 6, circumference is 6, and if circumference is 6, the diameter is 2. More or less, okay? It's more, but more or less 2 tfachim. How does 2 tfachim fit into the Aron? That's what we're dealing with now. If an amos 6 tfachim, 6 times 2.5 is how much? So 6 times 2 is 12. Half of 6 is 3. So 12 plus 3 equals 15. So 2.5 amma, that's Panovich math. That's how we break it down. 2.5 times 6 equals 15. So the width, the length of the Aron is, let me just show you. I want to tell you that these are our artist in South Africa made these from scratch. I'm very impressed, and this is why this took him a day, which is pretty cool. He was able to. There were kruvim on top of the Aron, and over here you could see the Aron that held the luchos, which was in Kodesh HaKadoshim, was 9 tfachim wide, 9 tfachim high, and 15 tfachim long. And here, this is what it looks like. Real quickly, outside, so it's 15 tfachim. The luchos sat in there side by side to the length. Each luach was 6 tfachim. 6 plus 6 is 12. We said that the whole thing is 15. So that means that the walls were a tefach, half a tefach on this side, half a tefach on that side. So now we're left with 2 tefachim. That gives us enough room for the Sefer Torah, which is all the way on the left side. That's the Sefer Torah, that rolled up thing. Says the Gemara inside, it's 9 tefachim, right? 1 am is 6, a half am is 3, so 1.5 is 9. It's 1.5 wide. It's 1.5 tall. Ba'ama bashisha tfachim is machlokes whether we're using the am of 6 or am of 5, which we'll go into in a minute. V'haluchos arkon shisha, the luchos are 6. V'rachman shisha 6 by 6. V'avion shloishan 3 wide. Aron. They were inside the Aron, laying down, not one on top of the other, but side by side, which takes up the whole length of the Aron. So how much did they take up in the Aron? 6 plus 6 equals 12. So 12, 15 minus 12, or 12 minus, 15 minus 12 is how much? 3. So we have nishtayru sham shloisha tefachim. We have 3 tefachim. What do we do with the three tefachim? Tzei mehem tefach. You need 1 tefach for the walls. The thickness of the 2 walls on the length, on the ones that go for the width, are a tefach. In other words, you shear that tefach for 2 walls. It's a half a tefach for each wall.
Didn't they also have the broken luchos also? What did that fit?
Yeah. We're going to talk about everything. This is a tefach. So a half a tefach is this. This is the thickness. It's pretty thick, actually. This is the thickness of the wall. The yellow part of the tape measure. Okay? Says the Gemara. So now you have 2 tefachim inside. Shebehem Sefer Torah munach. There's a Sefer Torah inside the Aron. Shenemar ein ba'aron rak only shnei luchos ha'avanim asher niach sham Moshe. We have ein ba'aron rak 2 ein only rak only 2 miutim. Let's see the pasuk for a second. Vayichtov Moshe ha'torah hazois vayidnu l'koyam lo koyach hasev ha'torah hazeh v'samtem oisay mitzad aroin bris Hashem. It says in the pasuk mitzad on the side, but there is a Sefer Torah somewhere next to the Aron or in the Aron. He's learning. Miriam says mitzad means inside. So why does he say mitzad? Mitzad is going to tell us. He's going to say that's next to the luchos, not in middle of the luchos, smack in middle, but on the side. But it does say in the pasuk there's a Sefer Torah over here. Now, I said over Maisa from Rabbi Emmanuel Feldman that I heard from Eliakim Aronoff in our kollel. He was from Atlanta. He said that a woman came, the woman in the congregation came and said that she's Mekayim the whole Torah. She's Mekayim the Luchas. Ser Sadibur, she's Mekayim. Rabbi, don't be so upset. I'm Mekayim the Iker, the Ser Sadibur. So he says, I don't know if you know, but like getting here on Shabbos in your car, you're over on Shabbos. One of the Ser Sadibur is Shabbos. She goes, Rabbi, you sure? Like she thought it's the Rutzicha, whatever. So when I said the story, there's a kid here. He goes, "That's my grandfather. Emmanuel Feldman is my grandfather. Told me after this year." All right, Zokti Gemara. My ein ba'arin rak, ein and rak. Miod achamiod ve'miod achamiod elo l'rabois sevet torah shemunach ba'arin ein. It is only luchos, yeah, but it comes to be remember. It comes to include another thing. Sevet torah shemunach ba'arin. He learns since it's a miod achamiod. You must say that the Sefer Torah is not on the tzad, but rather it's inside the Aron. Says Gemara, the Aron Larka. You just explained me beautifully the width, the length of the Aron. What do you do with the 15 tefachim? Say you parnas arka Aron l'rachbay. Now let's talk about the width. We said from the width of the Aron is how much? 1.5 amma. 1.5 amma. 6 times 1.5 is 9. So we have 9 tefachim to talk about. We said that the lucha is a 6 by 6. So 6, Nishtar Sham, 9 minus 6 is how much? Nishtar Sham, Shloisha Tvachim, Tzemem Tefach. So again, the wall is a half a Tefach each wall. Nishtar Sham, Shnei Tvachim, so we have 2 left over. Shlei Sefer Torah, Nichnas V'yotzik Shudachuk. Oh, so you have 6 for the Sefer Torah, a Tefach on top of Tefach at the bottom, so you can stick your hands in and pull out the Sefer Torah. When do we use the Sefer Torah? Hakel, what else? Yom Kippur. The Kohen Gadol reads from the Sefer Torah. That's why it's going to be called, we're going to see, it's called the Sefer Torah of the Azara. Take it out, read it in the Azara. Shaloi, Sefer Torah, Nichnas V'yotzik Shu Dachuk. There are those who want to learn here, Shaloi Sefer Torah Dachuk, that many of us from the other generation, we learned in yeshivas, we had trauma because in the yeshiva they used to be doichik the Torah. They said you have to look inside, you have to point, then you take your finger off, you get a zetzen cup, and then shalaya sefer Torah dachuk. Torah is learned berachves, not bedachkos. There's a yisoid that every time the Magichir says, those that say, Rabbi Yehuda Omer ba'ama bas chamisha tfachim. We're only talking about an amma of 5 tvachim. So let's do the math. 2.5 times 5 is how much? 12.5. 1.5 times 5? 7.5. So we have 7.5 by 12.5. Let's take a look. Here we go. Perfect. 12.5 by 7.5. And they take a look over here. According to Rabbi Yehuda, there's no Sefer Torah inside. Says the Gemara, there's no argument that the luchos were 6 by 6, and were 3 wide. And they're on the length of the aron. They take up 12. So we're only dealing with 12.5 tvachim over here, Rabbi Isai. And the luchos are 12. So that leaves us with a half a tefach for what? For the wall. Says Rashi in the bottom that there's 4 types of etzbas. We're talking about the thumb. There's only 4 thumbs per tefach. And 2 thumbs equals a half a tefach. Each thumb is a quarter tefach, 2 thumbs is half a tefach. That's it. You finished everything. Pinastor in the now you just explained to me the length. What about the width? And how much is the width according to Rabbi Yehuda? 7.5 tvachim. How much did they take up? Barin? Shisha tvachim. So we're left over with 1.5 because we're at 7.5 and minus 6. So take off a half a tefach again for the walls. Says Rashi. Now all of a sudden we're talking about the pinky. When it comes to the pinky, you need 1.5 pinkies plus 1.5 pinkies, 3 pinkies, the 6 pinkies per tefach. So okay, it's the same thing. You just used up a half a tefach for the walls. So how much you left over? 6 for the luchos, 1 for the walls, and we're dealing with 7.5. So you left, half for the walls. So you left with the whole tefach. There's something called amudim. Take a look. 2 poles. You saw how that happened? 2 poles. You want to see it more, you can see it over here. There's two poles made out of silver. Amudav also kesef. There's two poles made out of silver. Now there's the story.
It was impossible to take them out. They were in perfect.
Take it what out? We're not taking out the luchos. We don't have to take out the luchos. The only thing we have to take out is the Sefer Torah is not in there. Not in there, yeah. Everything's perfect. So the famous story with the Plishtim came and stole the Aron from Klal Yisrael. And they started having major issues. They started getting tchurim, this, that. So, as usual, when something happens to a person, no, maybe it's not this. So they took the Aron and they put it somewhere else. And that place started getting this place. Finally, they realized they might be in some big tzara for stealing the Aron. So what they did is they took two cows here. They took two cows that had babies, and a cow doesn't leave its baby, nor does a cat, nor does a monkey. A mother doesn't leave its babies. They took the Aron, put it on a wagon. They put a bunch of gold there, like tchayrim, a whole thing. But they put a gift, and they put the cows in the wrong direction. The cows went backwards. They left their babies, went towards Yerushalayim, and that was their sign that, in fact, this is what was causing all the problems. And they gave it back to Klal Yisrael. Says the Gemara, and they arrived at Bet Shemesh. I heard that something about Bet Shemesh and the flag has this argaz, but I looked it up today. I didn't see it, so I don't know what they're. I just found myself doing this, and I don't know if I'm watching too much Trump. I don't know. I just like what did I just do? Okay, this box that they sent, the Plishtim sent a gift to Lehei Yisrael, Munach Mitzidoy, is next to the Aron. Shenemar ve'eis klei azov asher shivoisim lo osham tosimu ba'argaz mitzidoy v'shilachtem b'sev ha'olach. Okay. V'al of Sefer Torah Munach. On top of this box is the Sefer Torah according to Rabbi Yehuda, not inside the Aron. He learns the word mitzad from the side. Remeir learns ein bar in rak. Miut achamiut l'rabbis that inside the Aron there is a Sefer Torah. But Rabbi Yehuda says the Sefer Torah is outside. So what does he do with the miut achamiut? L'rabbis. Daf Yudal Amud Beis Shivrei Luchoy Shmunochem Ba'aron. Rabbi say, take a look. He lifted up one of the luchos so you could see that the broken parts. It's hard to see. It's like not the right here. Oh, that's a little bit better. The broken part is underneath the luchos. Okay, let's say this quickly before we get to the question. Here, turning of this daf is sponsored by LifeShare, the first crowdfunding community where families are protected before a tragic death. Says Gemara V'Yisok that the Sefer Torah gave a shisha. You're saying that the Sefer Torah is 6 tfachim. So Memela, the circumference is 6. Simple math. Anything that the circumference is 3, the diameter is 1. We learned in Sukkot it's a little bit more than 1, which creates an issue here because if it's a little bit more, then it's not going to fit in. But okay. We're talking about 6. So 6, every 3 is 1. 6 has 2 3s, so that's 2. 2 tfachim wide. The kiv in the lemtzios and niglal, since the Sefer Torah is rolled up to the middle, we said the Sefer Torah is rolled up to the middle. Now you have 2 poles in this, so it's not going to be on. There's a little bit of a gap over there. Betrei pushrei hecha Yosef. How could a Sefer Torah sit inside there when there's only 2 tfachim left over for it to fit in there? It's impossible. Omer Ravacha Bar Yaakov Sefer Azara. This Sefer Torah that we're talking about, l'tchilaso in nigla. It's in fact on 1 pole like this. It's not 2 poles. So we don't have that gap between the 2 poles, whatever gap that takes up. It's 1 pole, and in fact, it's exactly 2 tfachim. Vakati says the Gemara, betrei hechi Yosef. How does exactly 2 fit into an area that's exactly 2 to the millimeter? It's impossible to fit in. It has to be slightly smaller than 2 in order to fit into 2. Says Gemara Ravashi, the Korach Beipurto, the Karchile. Let me show you the art scroll for a second. I'm sorry. This is the picture in the Hebrew art scroll because the English art scroll just didn't. It's the same picture, but somebody messed up there, put a line in the wrong place, I think. This is a very simple picture, but also you could see this in Yoshi's. You see the Sefer Torah rolled up, but a little piece of the Sefer Torah is rolled up in the opposite direction. In other words, to give it a little bit more space and can fit in. Rabbi Yehuda, guys, he said that they put the Sefer Torah on top of the box that came from the Plishtim. But before the story with the Plishtim, they stole the Aron. So where was the Sefer Torah when they stole it? Sefer Torah have Yosef. They didn't have a box that was given as a gift later on. It was before that. Says Gemara, Dapo have it nofik mine. There was a shelf here. Take a look. Beautiful. It's 3D, guys. Givaldik. Here's the Sefer Torah sitting on a shelf. Why does it say that the Sefer Torah should be on the side of the Aron? He says it's inside the Aron, not on the side of the Aron. Here, I just did this to show. You see this red arrow? It's not over here by the red arrow. It's over here on the side. I would think it goes between the luchas maybe. The natzad, it should be on the side. And it's inside the box, inside the Aron. Minatzad, but on the side. According to Rabbi Yehuda, let's see Rabbi Yehuda's picture. Rabbi Yehuda says the amudim are over here. But according to Rabbi Meir, I need a tevach on the top and tevach on the bottom to get my hands in there to pull out the Sefer Torah nicely. But if there's amudim there, I can't grab the Sefer Torah. So where are the amudim? Mibaroi. They're outside. What's baroi, Rabbi Isai? My new a bar. Mibaroi, a bar. A bar is outside. Rabbi Meir, Shirei Lucho is the munachim ba'arei minalei. How does Rabbi Meir know that the broken pieces of the luchos are in there? Because Rabbi Yehuda learned it from Ein Rak, from the Ein Rak, the miut achar miut. The Shirei Luchos are inside. But Rabbi Meir uses the Ein Rak that the Sefer Torah is inside. So how does he know the Shirei Luchos are inside? Navkelim the Rav Huna, Dam Rav Huna, Ma'idach Siv Asher Nikro, shame. Twice it says shame. Shame. Each shame is talking about a different set of luchos. The luchos Yisroelim and the luchos Shneos. Hashem tzvakos yoshev akrum olav. Melam shluchos luchos menachem bar. V'yedach amud Baila look at Rabbi Yochanan. We just go back there to the picture. I'm doing this for Yoel. He likes pictures. So the whole luchos and the broken luchos were in the box in the Aron. Either we learn it from Rakain or we learn it from shame. Vidach, and what do you do with shame? Rabbi Yehuda. Amud Baila Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Shimon Meichai. That I don't know how many, not that I don't know. It seems like there's a machlokes rishonim. On the side over here in the Rabbeinu Gershom, he says, B'chol kinuyev kol shivim shemoy shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu munachim ba'arei mashma. The 70 names, 70 different Shakai and Elohim and whatever, all the different ways, you write it down on a cloth, put it inside the Aron. The Rambam seems to say that it's 6 names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But all the kinuyim, there was once a guy who was doing all these different things with shemais, writing kemeyas with shemais. So the Bava Basra said that, it says in the Gemara in Bava Basra, Daf Yomi Beis, that shashem v'kol kinuyim munachim ba'aron. In order to write shemais, you have to be munach ba'aron. You have to ligen lernen. You have to learn Torah. You can't be stam a guy off the street, a joker who writes shemais. And I'll tell you the story again. My father told us that there's a guy that's a tremendous makubal, and we have to check him out. My father liked to check out people. I want to check out this guy. So real quickly, because I know you know the story, but maybe for the new people. He said he's in Herzliya. Elio, we got to go check this guy out. So we go to Herzliya. I said, where does he live? He says, I have no clue. We go to Herzliya, and we roll down the window of the taxi. Where does the makubal live? I don't know what you're talking about. Kids, we go in. Finally, one guy says, not in this, in that neighborhood. So we go to that neighborhood. Finally, we got to the neighborhood. People started shopping. They pointed to a certain building. We got to the building. Does the Makubal live here? Yeah, on the 11th floor. 11th floor? Shabbos, elevator, whatever. Okay, fine. We get up to the 11th floor. We knock on the door. A guy in jeans and a white undershirt opens up the door. Ken, is this the Makubal? Ken, Kansu. He's like, beer. I don't know what he's wearing. Come in, and my uncle was there. My uncle happens to be in Israel now, Rebbe Yokim, and my father's brother. And he starts telling us like Ruach HaKodesh stuff. He says, he looks at my uncle, he says, you have a bruise right here on your foot. And my uncle is wearing a pair of trousers. And my uncle says, no, I don't. So he says, you do. So he tells me, so show me, take it off. I go, fine. So my uncle decides to roll up. It took him a while. I remember he was rolling. He rolls up his pants. And sure enough, there's a nice black and blue mark right where he pointed. So they had a little covet for him. Then he told my father that he's the Gilgul of the Noam Elimelech. Now, my father is a real Litvak, a Gilgul of the Noam Elimelech. I thought I'm the Gilgul of the Gra. The Gilgul of the Noam Elimelech. So now he's not. Then all of a sudden, my father hears him saying Shem Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, straight out. So my father says, Elio, let's go. Not only the Noam Elimelech, but now Shem Hashem, out of here. We ran out of there and whatever. But this reminds me. In order to say, in order to use Shemus, you have to be Munach Ba'arain. Can't be Oisvar from Chveisvas. Anyway, there's more to the story, but not for now. Yeah. Oh, that Aron. I mean that Aron. Yeah, there's the Sitra Achra, you can do it in different ways. Now, what about Rameir? Rameir also needs to learn from somewhere that the 70 Shem Hashems are inside the Aron. Where does he learn it from? He needs it from this pasuk. He tried to use this pasuk for Shiri Luchos, Shem Shem. But I need it for the Shem Mois, not the Shiri Luchos. What I do? Nafkilim in Tani Rav Yosef. Tani Rav Yosef. Asher Shibarto v'samtom. This is the famous Asher Shibarto. Why does everybody know it? You know why everybody knows it? It's the last Rashi in the Torah, I think, or maybe the Mashgiach. Asher shibalto, Asher koyach. Okay, Asher shibalto samtom. Milam shalucha is v'shivir luchos v'nochem ba'aron. So this pshat is Asher shibalto. Let's just look at the pasuk for a second. We'll understand it better. Ve'echtoy ve'alalucha is zador shayoyu aluchos erishonim. Asher shibalto. What do you mean Asher? You should write in the second luchos exactly what it was in the first luchos. Aluchos advar Asher hoyu aluchos erishonim. Who cares Asher shibalto? I don't care about the history. Asher shibarta is extra to tell us that those Asher shibarta adra, no, that you broke is also in the Aron. Reminds me of a sad story of a guy came to one of these schools in Eretz Yisrael, a non-religious school, and he starts off the class. He says, "I want to know who broke the luchos." So everybody in the class says, "We didn't do it. We didn't do it." So he's like, "What?" So he goes to the principal. He says, "I asked the question. I'm very upset. I asked the question. I said, who broke the luchos?" And everybody says they didn't do it. So the principal says, "You know, whatever it is, we'll pay for it. Don't worry about it." Oh, Vidach, Shlokish. The Amr Shlokish Asher Shibarto. Thank you for breaking it. There's a lot of pshatim here. But yesterday I saw a pshat I really liked. I think you're going to appreciate it. When Moshe Rabbeinu came down from Shemayim and he sees Klal Yisrael making an egel, he said, "Oh, Klal Yisrael wants to hold on to something physical. They made a physical thing. So he says, you want physical? You see these luchos that are physical? Poof, he broke it. You don't need physical. In order to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you don't need physical. You need to connect. You have to have vegas in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have to learn torah. You have to think about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not physical. You want physical? I'll take the physical and break it. The very easy over here. How does it go? So mamish like this list over here. Ask the Gemara, so now if we have to go to Triaser. Triaser, look what happens over here. The first one in Triaser is Yeshaya. Ask the Gemara, why is Yeshaya all the way in Triaser? Shouldn't it be like, you see number 7 over there? Is Yeshaya. Why is Yeshaya 7? Yeshaya should be before Yeshaya. First Hashem spoke to Yeshaya. Did he really speak to him first? Sorry. By the way, in Lincolnwood, they got from a shul all they wanted to buy. A shul was closing down, bought all Nevi'im. I was just telling you guys a little trick. So they asked if anybody wants to donate. So I said, yeah, I'll donate one, but I want Yeshaya. Why? Because Yeshaya has double the reading than any other one, basically. It's 18 to 20, 22 sometimes even. So more schusim, more shabbosim. That's what I thought. I don't know if it's true, but okay. And that part is true. I don't know if you get more schusim like that, but so Hoshea over here is before Yeshaya. So why is he in the list? Why does he come after Yeshaya? Well, the Kamel Yeshaya, Bereisha. Yeshaya should be before Yeshaya. So why is he in Treyasa? He should be in the Nevi'im and before Yeshaya, between Yecheskel and Yeshaya, let's say. Says Gemara, Kivin Chsiv Nevuase Gabi Chagai Zechariah Malachi. Since his nevuah was written down in those days, at in the beginning of Bayis Sheni, the Chagi Zechariah Malachi soif Nevi'im havu. They were the end. So they put them over there. Says Gemara, put him in his own little sefer, and he should go where he needs to go before Yeshaya. Either the Zudar, it's very, very small. Mirkas will get lost. Says Gemara, Yeshaya called him Yirmi Cheskel. Yeshaya is before Yirmi Cheskel. So now let's look at the list. Where's Yeshaya in this list? Number 7. Yirmi Cheskel is 5 and 6. So it should be Yeshaya 5, and then Yirmi and Yecheskel 6 and 7. So the Gemara, Kivin the Melachim Sefer Churbana. So let's go do this. Melachim number 4. At the end of Melachim talks about the Churban and Bayis. Number 5 is all Churban. Yecheskel is Churban and what do you call it? And the Nechama. V'Yirmi Akuli Churbana. V'Yecheskel Reishi Churbana v'Sefer Nechemta. So it goes in order. Starts Melachim, the end is Churban. Yirmiyah is complete Churban. Yecheskel is a little bit of Churban, and ends off Nechama. So Yeshaya comes after that as Nechama, finishes it off. Yeshaya Kuli Nechemta. Semchina Churbana Churbana. V'Nechemta Nechemta. Should we do this? Let's do this quickly. It's very easy. Siddur Shel Ksuvim. Ruos v'Sevitim. If it looks a little funny, I had to redo copy paste because I couldn't catch Yoshin, who was off. I had to redo it. Ruos v'Sevitilim v'Iyov Mishlei Koheles She'ashirim Kinas Daniel Megillas Esther Ezra v'Yavim L'man Dami Iyov v'Mei Moshe Machlokes all over Shas. When did Iyov exist? Was it in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu? If he exists, if it's a marshal, L'Kal Iyov Bereisha. Iyov should be first. It's a bad story. It's a story of Paranos. We don't start off like that. Says Gemara, Rus Nami Paranos. There's a lot of Paranos in Rus. Yeah, Paranos, this La'achris, but tells us the beautiful story about David HaMelech, David Rabbi Yochanan, David Shmuel Rus, Shiatzav in a David, Shirivol, Akash Baruch, B'Shirois, V'Sishbachos, Umik Savam. Now the Gemara just goes in to tell us who wrote what. Moshe of Kosav Sifroi, Moshe Rabbeinu wrote the Sefer Torah, who parishes below, V'Iyov, he wrote Iyov. Yeshua Kosav Sifroi, Ushmoina, he wrote the Yeshua, and also the last, Ushmoina Psukim Shevat Torah, we're going to see tomorrow a little bit more about this. Then he wrote the last 8 psukim in the Torah. Why? Because Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't alive anymore. How can Moshe Rabbeinu possibly write something that he wasn't alive? Shmuel Kosav Sifroi. Shmuel wrote Shmuel. V'shoiftim v'rus. David Kosav Sefer Tehillim. My idea I saw skin. And what's special about Tehillim, Rabbi Yisai? That none of the Nevi'im Ksuvim have. That if you read Tehillim and you don't understand what you're saying, says the Pele Yoitz, you get schar. Tehillim was written Ayidei Asar Skenim. Ayidei Adam Rishon, Kapitel Kuf Lamed Tes, Adam Rishon. Ayidei Malki Tzedek, Kapitel Kuf Yud. Ayidei Avram, Kapitel Kuf Pei Tes. Ayidei Moshe, Tefila LaMoshe, from Tzedek to Kuf. Ayidei Haman, Pei Ches. Ayidei Yidusun, Lamed Tes. Ayidei Asaf, from Mayin Gimel to Pei Gimel. Ayidei Shloisha B'nei Korach. Here, there's 3 sons of Korach that survived. They wrote from Membeis and Memtes. We say it on Rosh Hashanah, no? Before Lemei Korach, Mizmar. Yirmiyah, Kosav Sifroi v'Sefer Melachim v'Kinois. Yirmiyah wrote Yirmiyah and Melachim and Kinos. Eicha. Chizkiah v'Siyadta Kosvu Yeshaya Mishlei She'ashirim v'Koheles. All those things that we thought Shlomo HaMelech wrote, in fact, Chizkiah wrote them. And Sheknes HaGdoyle Kosvu Yecheskel Shnei Mosor Daniel u'Megillas Esther. Ezra Kosav Sifroi, V'yachas Shel Divrei Hayomim Adloi. We'll do this tomorrow again, I guess. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.